Welcome back to the Rebel Tech channel. I'm Justin, and in this video we're going to be talking about the 1.7 firmware update for the Zoom F6. And there are some things that have changed, two to be specific, and we're going to dive into what they have to offer, if they have changed anything, and who they will affect, and then if it really has any side effects based on putting it in, because firmware updates sometimes have some bugs in them, or any update, to be honest. So what does the 1.7 firmware update actually give us, and what does it change? And of course, it doesn't have to apply to everybody, because one, sometimes these functionalities that they change are some things that you don't use, and also they might not have gone wrong in your specific model or your specific Zoom F6. So the first thing that it covers, and I'll read it here for you: the internal timecode sometimes gains 1 frame when an external timecode is disconnected while the timecode is set to EXT mode or EXT auto record mode. Now, basically this means if an external source, like a timecode thing, like one of those little blue ones, or there's the tentacle one, if it gets disconnected or if it's turned off or whatever it is, which I assume that applies to every single one that you can use. If it's turned off, it increases one frame. I think that's what it says. Yeah, 1 frame, not anything else. And 1 frame it increases when disconnected. So if you were to reconnect it, it's going to be 1 frame off. The Zoom F6 will be 1 frame higher than it was. But that's what it says that it fixes. I personally do not use the timecode. At least not yet. I've never worked with anyone that uses timecode. So maybe one day, not sure yet, but when the time comes that I do, I will address it in a future video. If you haven't seen it, a bunch of people have used the timecode on this and talked about it in extensive detail, so I'll leave links down below and a couple of channels. My buddy Chris from Germany, he put out a couple of videos on the tentacle one, I believe, and he talks about timecode, and more specifically timecode in cameras that don't necessarily have it, because the timecode technically is a audio source, but it also has a digital clock addressed with the signal, so it's a little complex, but he goes into detail and he lets you know what's going on with that. Of course, I'll leave links to all that, and maybe in the corner with the cards and all that. You can check that out. So the second thing that they have updated in this 1.7 update is improved low frequency characteristics of the filter used for internal processing. My interpretation of it is the low frequencies, meaning your low end. As we talk about on this channel, the frequency response curves of your microphones have a low, middle, and high, and you could go a little bit more detailed with the low mids, high mids, but the low frequencies are usually between like 500 and below, 0 to 500, roughly. It maybe expands a little bit more, or maybe some people compress it a little bit more, but those are going to be your low ends. And I assume that the characteristics of this range of frequencies was being corrupted, or it was not up to par. I never noticed any problems with it. I've used the Zoom F6 for over a year now, and it has never given me any problems as far as detail, and I'm not really noticing anything. Maybe it has and I haven't noticed it, but it really hasn't affected me, and it hasn't affected any other people that I've worked with. So let me know down in the comments if you've had an issue with either the timecode or the low frequency characteristics, as they're saying. And it's also saying characteristics of a filter used. So that might also apply to if you have the limiter on or the high pass filter. That could be another thing. Another theory I have is when you're using the low cut filter. And the low cut filter or high pass filter means the same thing. It's just cutting your low ends to whatever the amount is. I know it goes, I don't go further than 80 if I ever use it, which I don't usually use it because you could always do it in post, but I sometimes do it if it's really bothering me. So this could be a part of that, meaning that it wasn't rolling off the right amount, or the roll off wasn't clean. Something related to that. Possibly that could be the filter that they're talking about. It could also mean the limiter in the low ends of being cut off. I'm not really sure exactly. It says it has to do with the internal processing, so it's not very detailed. I wish they would have made a more detailed spec sheet or firmware notes for me, but if someone from Zoom watches this, let me know exactly what it is, or if you know down in the comments, please, anyone down in the comments, just give me some details on what this possibly could mean. So the last thing I want to get into is how has it affected me after the update? What I have noticed is pretty much nothing, to be honest, because it wasn't working poorly and I really didn't notice any problems with it. There have been some issues, minor issues, and maybe mostly just critiques on what I would like to see in the future. And as I mentioned before, Chris and I have spoken in some comments on his video, on my videos, about certain things we would like to see from this device and see what we can get out of it. So yeah, I haven't noticed anything. It's been about a week of just testing a couple of things and just testing detail, and I tested the detail before and after, so the 1.6 update, and then I tested it with the 1.7 update. The low characteristics and timecode, I don't have anything to test it with, so maybe Chris will do a video on that as well, and he'll maybe expand on what I have told you today. So yes, that is it. That is the 1.7 update. I know I didn't go too crazy in detail, but to be honest, there's not much to be said about this. It's just about the timecode, just about the low frequency characteristics, and if you have any other interpretations of what this could mean, or maybe even some experience with this, if you've had issues with these types of things and then it updated and possibly fixed it, or maybe it didn't, let me know down in the comments and see if we can have a conversation about how this could be fixed, possibly other things fixed in the future, possible 1.8 update in the future that could address certain things that we've all been dealing with. Maybe I'll do a video in maybe a month or maybe a couple weeks about a 1.8 hopeful update, kind of like some things that we want to talk about and some things that we want to have them update and give us. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please hit the like button down below and consider subscribing for more videos in the future. And if you have any questions, comments, or if you just want to talk about the Zoom F6, talk about stuff down in the comments, please be nice, be cordial, be constructive. I'm all about having a conversation, and I'm not always perfect with my information, but I am just reading off what it has to offer us and my theories of what it may be. So if you have any theories, I'm willing to have a conversation about it. I'm always willing to learn about this stuff, so the more I know, the more I can help. And as far as streams are concerned, I'm going to be changing up the schedule because I can't really do it during the week right now. I've been studying for my EPA tests and trying to get that done, and I'm trying to take the tests in June. So I'm taking the week during the week to work on videos and work on studying, and then on the weekends I might just do one on Saturday or maybe Saturday and Sunday, and they're probably going to be in the mornings now because I just don't have the time in the afternoons. Just a lot of stuff going on. My life's getting back to normal. So please check it out. If you see the update of saying, oh, I'm going to be streaming, then just pop in for 5-10 minutes if you want. Just say hi or whatever. Nice to have a conversation. I do dot-to-dot art and I play some video games. I really just chill time and just hang out. And of course, until next time, be safe, be kind, and I'll see you in the next video. I found a wireless transmitter. It goes for $300, but
I got her for 2, and it doubles as a lav. Which is wonderful. Where the fuck are we, Jacob? And why am I not your sexy counterpart?